Today I'm going to be talking about the rules to Acquire. Acquire has been around for a long time. It was designed by the great Sid Sackson. He put out several games that he designed. Acquire is one of them. Can't Stop, Sleuth, several different games, a wide variety of genres. He didn't just stick with one kind of game, a war game, and then just do all war games. This is a financial game. Can't Stop is kind of more like a party game. Sleuth is a strategy game. We're going to be talking about this, and you'll notice that here's the rules. Just two sides of a single page, so very simple to play. It plays from 2 to 6. It takes about 2 hours. It's a family style game, so even younger kids can play it, even though they may not be great at it. It teaches them the basics of how to invest and investing in stock. The way you start this game is you start with $6,000 a piece, each player. You draw 6 tiles. These tiles represent hotels. And what you're doing is there are 7 hotel chains available. You're investing in hotel chains. So when hotels group together, they become chains. So when you start the game, you get your 6,000. Every player draws a tile, and whoever's closest to 1A begins the game. So each person puts on whatever their tile that they drew is. And you'll notice that this board is made up of 1, 2, 3 up to 12 and A, B, C down to I. So every tile has a unique place on the board. There's only one of each spot on the board in those tiles. So let's say those were the draw, then whoever drew 3D would start the game. So you draw 6 tiles, and those are face down. Those should be face down. They're all mixed up. You draw 6 tiles, you look at those tiles, decide what you want to play. And the way to start a hotel chain, these are your hotel chains here. The way to start one is to put 2 tiles next to each other, either horizontal or vertical. And so you want to be flipping these up, and I actually just randomly drew one that would start a hotel chain here. Now diagonals do not start chains, only horizontal or vertical. Once I play that, then I would get to decide which hotel chain I want to start. And Imperial and Continental, you'll notice the initials. Here's the different stocks available, stock certificates. Tower and Luxor are the cheapest, Imperial Continental are the most expensive, American Worldwide and Festival are the medium priced ones. Here's a quick reference card that tells you how the stocks are valued. For Tower and Luxor, the cheapest ones, you'll look at this column, and it's got numbers in the column, and that number represents how many hotels are in the chain. So in this case, if we started Tower or Luxor, there's only 2 tiles that would be in the chain. You go down to the 2, you come across to the 4th column. The 4th column tells you that stock in Tower or Luxor with 2 tiles is worth $200 a share. Now when you start that, let's say I'm starting Tower, you get a free share of Tower. So that's like free money in this game. And when you start chains, you almost, a lot of times, most of the time, if you can start a chain, you want to do it because you get that free share. It's free money unless you have something else that's pressing that you need to do. Now Imperial and Continental, if you'll look, and you'll go down to 2, it's worth 400. So if instead of Tower, I decided to go with Continental, those would be 400 a share instead of the 200 a share that these are, or these are 300 a share each. So those are kind of the medium priced. Well, the freebie one is great because that's worth that much money. So on your turn, you can do you do 3 things, and you do them in this order. You take a tile, you play it on the board. That's the step 1. Step 2 is you can buy up to 3 shares of stock, and you can only buy shares of stock that are on the board. So at this point in the game, if Continental's on the board, I can buy up to 3 shares of Continental. Now later in the game, after a few more people have played, let's say we've got American over here, and we've got Tower over here, then I can buy up to 3 shares, but I can mix them around in whatever combination I want. I can't buy 3 of each, just 3 total between whatever's on the board. So Continental, Tower, American, I can buy, well, say I buy 2 of this and 1 of that. Or I only want to buy 2, or I don't want to buy anything at all. It's optional. Once you're done buying, then you draw a new tile so that you have 6 tiles again. And you need to make these so other people can't see them, but you can. Okay, so once you've got this, you got to watch your cash flow very closely in this game. You only start with 6,000. Once that's gone, it's gone. So the only way to get money back in this game is to merge chains. And so you'll notice that American and Tower are right next to each other, and 5G separates them. So if I had 5G in my hand over here, and I decided I wanted to play it, and I threw it out here, then that would merge these 2 chains together, and they would become one chain. So let's say I do that on my turn. I'm going to flip these up, even though they're not the right tile. They should be the right tile. But what we normally do when we're merging 2 chains together is put the merge tile face down so that we can keep track of what size of each chain is getting merged together, because that's important in paying out the majority holders bonuses. Okay, at this case there's 3 of each. Let's put American at 4 and Tower at 3. Okay, so what happens is everybody on their turn counts their stock in the smaller chain. You don't count it in the bigger one, and you don't tell people how many you have of each stock. You keep them stacked up here. You don't spread them out so people can count. That's a no-no. You want to keep them stacked up neatly so people have a hard time counting. So let's say I have 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 shares of Tower. Now there's only 25 in each one of these stacks for each chain, and that's important to know because you can count how many you have, you can count how many's in the stack, but you cannot ask the other players how many they have. That's a no-no. So you can count and you can look at other people's and try to decide, okay, I've still got, if you're really good at remembering how many people are buying, you want to do it. If you're not good at that, then you can still look and say, well, okay, he's got at least some and he's got at least some, and there's this many left in the stack and I've got this many. That means there's X number out on the board. So that's important, because once a merger happens, what happens is everybody counts their stocks, announce how many they have, and whoever has the most gets the first majority holders bonus. This is the next to last column on this card. So in this case, Tower has 3 hotels. So even though it started at 200 a share, it has grown. Somebody added a tile to it, so it's now worth 300 a share because of 3 tiles. But the majority holders bonus, the next to last column, whoever has the most stock in that one gets paid $3,000 cash out of the bank. The second majority holders bonus gets $1,500. So that's cash coming back in that you can use to buy more stock with. So if there happens to be a tie, you just add those up, divide by 2, and round up. Okay, so that's the majority holders bonus. Once that tile, the merge tile, has been played, that player gets to choose first what he wants to do with his stock. Let's say I had this much stock. I can do one of 3 things. I can just keep the stock. Why would I want to keep the stock? Well, the smaller chain comes off the board, but it might come back on the board later. Somebody else might start it. You might start it. If you think it's going to come back on, you might want to keep your shares. And then you automatically have shares in that stock, even though somebody else might start it. And every time you start a chain, you get that free share. Remember that free share. The second thing you can do is you can sell stock in the merged off tile, in the merged off chain. You cannot sell stock any other time in the game. Only when a chain gets merged off, you can sell that stock only. And it sells for whatever the value of that stock is. So tower with 3 is worth 300 a share. And so I could choose to, let's see, I'm going to sell 3 shares. So I sell them for $900. And I want to keep 5 shares or whatever. The third thing you can do is you can trade. And you always trade 2 for 1 from the smaller stock into the bigger stock, the smaller chain into the bigger one. So if I traded 2 tower, I would get 1 American in this case. So I could do that as many times as I wanted to. Let's say I'm trading 4 more, get 2 more American. Okay, and you do want to keep track of how many is left to here, and it's key to whoever played that merge tile. If this stack is getting low over here of American, I may want to get the end of that stack before somebody else gets it, because I want to get a majority holders bonus or a second majority holders bonus away from somebody else that has it. And you might even need to trade down in value to do that. Let's say, you might be trading, $600 shares, 2 $600 shares that are worth $1,200. You might be trading it for a $1,000 share or an $800 share. Normally you wouldn't want to trade down in value, but if that's going to give you a majority holders bonus in the new chain or the bigger chain, you might want to do it anyway. You need to keep that in mind. And so you keep playing like this, and this board will fill up with more chains. Now once a chain gets to be 11 or more, and once this merge has happened, you just flip the tile over that was the merge tile so it's back up the right way. Once a chain is 11 or more, it's considered a safe chain. 2, 4, 6, 8. Let's add 3 more tiles to this. Okay, once it's an 11, it's safe. So that means it cannot be merged off the board. Now other smaller chains can get merged into it, but if you've got 2 chains that are 11 or more next to each other, they cannot merge. So 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, let's say we've got those 2 chains next to each other. That would mean 3I and 3H and 4D would be dead tiles. If you've got those in your hand down here, you just flip them upside down and draw a replacement tile, because those cannot be played, so you get replacements for them. So the way this game ends is on your turn, you can decide the game's over if one of 2 conditions happen. If a single chain is 41 or more tiles on the board, which is a pretty big chain, the other condition is if all chains are safe. So all chains have 11 or more tiles, then you can call the game over. And the point of calling the game over or not calling the game over, maybe you're still buying stock. Maybe there's several different stocks out here and you are trying to weasel and get majority holders bonus or something. So you don't want the game to end. So you just keep buying and let the next person play. Now, maybe I have 11 shares of American here or something, and there's still a stack there. I may want to buy 2 more to get 13, because if I get 13 of a single share, a single hotel chain, I know I got majority because there's only 25, so that's over half, right? So I might want to try to get that 13th share, and once I've done that, I might call the game over so nobody else can buy anymore, or there's no reason to let the game go longer. So, or if I bought, you know, if I know Fred over here has 8 shares and I just bought my 9th share of whatever that is, and then I can call the game over so he can't turn around and buy more. So those are the 2 conditions to end the game, 41 or more, or all chains are safe. So this is a great, simple game for the whole family to play, and it teaches the basics on stock investing, and it's just a great game. I love it to death. You'll notice my copy has been played. So you ought to add this one to your collection if you don't have it.